Take. Didn't you go with your parents to see your sister?
Mm-mm.
What's the exact time? I think my
Yeah.
watch is a little bad. 7:01. Okay, I'm gonna put my watch back because
Ooh,
mine's
look at
a
that. She
little
took
fast.
maybe your t-shirts to wear.
Mm. Are they married? Like,
No, she lives in Chester. He lives here. They're friends from something. They know each other. But
the wife was upstairs. That's the one that answered me. Yeah, I'm literally in shorts.
Sounds good.
You could have told me to dress up a little bit nicer. They're all nice.
We got to figure out a dance.
Good evening and welcome to Good Day NWI with Becky and Pete.
Welcome back. Where you been?
Hey, it's November 10th.
I know it's almost Thanksgiving
60 degrees.
in November.
Beautiful, beautiful in Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, everyone's wearing shorts today. I was.
What were you doing? Were you outside?
I was outside working on Jeeps, of course. That's my side hobby.
That's your, that's your gig.
When I'm out working. But yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a couple weeks, but we've been doing pop-ups, so that's kind of
Yeah.
nice. So we're out and about. The last one we did was a party. And then before that, we did a little bit of interview with some of the candidates that were coming up. So
At Briar Ridge.
a lot of big news. This has been a huge, huge week. We usually start with a few things, but before we get into all that, I want to just welcome everybody, thank everybody. Beautiful setup. We're at Panos Theater. I always have my behind the scenes on Facebook. Pete's is
Broadcasting on Facebook also.
also, and then either recording just for backup and just in case.
Yep.
And then we have
You never know.
Restream. So that's sending, and David's our tech behind, and Grace is also helping behind the scenes too. What are 4 that go out on Restream?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Huge audience.
So we invite you all to watch, learn, share, and give. You know, this is still a labor of love for us. We put it all together, but we are set to take stars.
We are.
Zelle, Zoom. You can do that too, and just regular old donations.
Yep.
Right.
To
So
help.
Vision Quest and Angels Honor Guard and your Kia.
I take donations for Cash for Charity.
There you
And
go.
we're taking donations now to feed the needy for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So keep that in mind. You could also go to Cash for Charity website and donate that way. It's probably the easiest thing to do and the best way to do it.
And you work with Kia. That's you help us with
They
a
do.
lot of
They-
all this setup.
They're awesome. So you
So-
need that car, you go to Kia in Joliet. Don't forget, it's called World Kia. We're there every day from 9 in the morning, sometimes till midnight. We don't go home.
You've been
We just
busy.
don't leave.
You've been busy there too.
Hey, I got home last night at Saturday, 1 o'clock in the morning, but that's okay. We'll
Okay.
wait for you. You want to buy a car? Show up. We'll be there. I don't care if it's midnight. We're always there for you.
So I know we've got all these new things. We've also talked about diving deeper with podcasts. We've talked about Patreon, but we are still really. I mean, we do a great job, but I would like invite anybody to sponsor if they want to come on and not only the eyes on the show, but it's the week, the month, the year, and all around the region. I mean, we've got signs and emails and us.
And we've come a long way. It's been next month will be 1 year.
Oh, it's-
And man, we learned a lot the hard way, but that's okay. That's
And
how you learn,
the
right?
fun way.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
had a lot
yeah.
of fun. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we thank all the other people who come in and out. We've got about 20 that I message on a weekly basis.
And the biggest hiccup was technical support. That was our biggest problem. We have that ironed out, 99% of it. You know, every week something different happens. You're like, oh, we have to do that.
Well, you know
That's
what's
okay.
with technology, it's like you solve something and then they change
It
it.
changes.
Or the wind knocks the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi out.
Yeah.
Or my phone isn't charged.
Or here someone said to me, oh, you guys have shadows on your background. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, okay.
as
So
long
we
as
added
they're not
lights,
under
you know?
my eyes, I'm okay with it. I also want to say thanks to the people who aren't here, like they're watching. So we've got big fans. Your mom, my mom, Lauren and Leah, they're out there.
A lot
Sherry
of
Taylor.
relatives, they're out relatives in different countries. We
I
have
didn't know it
friends
was a
watching,
production,
which is
though.
great. And
Are we gonna be in
people
Hollywood?
ask, hey, why weren't you guys on last week? If we take a week off or 2
Mhm.
weeks off, for whatever reason. So it's good. That's how we know people are watching it and it's making somewhat of a different impact. And it's gonna get better as it goes. We know what that's
Don't
Well, I
know.
do have to mention, it is kind of on me. I have this hip issue, so that's why we're not always weekly with the formal show, but we are doing things in between to keep it fun and fresh. So,
I'm trying to move in.
yeah. Anybody else you want to think? Well, you've got family that's at your home, your wife and kids,
that's
friends,
great,
and he actually invited on your on your Facebook today.
Yeah, I invited 100 people, so watch.
Yeah.
And maybe those people will invite 100 people. You never know. That's how you
Yeah,
get the
wasn't there a commercial like that?
I'm not gonna
Tell
answer
two
your
friends,
There was,
tell
yeah,
two
yeah.
friends with the hair.
Yeah.
I'm taking this back. I'm kind of dating us. I think I
Well, no, you
mentioned
talked
that
about
earlier.
Romper Room earlier.
Oh yeah,
So
I
like
saw
getting
the
dated, right?
I saw the reruns on Romper
And
Room.
half these people watching
Oh
probably.
my God, like
Romper Room,
individual?
What the heck is Romper?
Well, it was
Right?
fun. I loved her. My kindergarten teacher
That was a
looked a lot like
preschool
her.
show.
It was such
Right?
it was
Right?
yeah. I really
Yeah.
liked the mirror thing. We'll start with food, fashion, weather, and traffic. So I'd like to give a shout out to Strack. My mom still calls it Van Tills. We're friends and neighbors with them. They're one of the people that we're talking to. NIPSCO, Macaulay. Those are all big sponsors that we're saying, hey, in our area, BP. We've got quite a few of the entertainment venues. Horseshoe, I've been talking with them as well, and they're coming up later in the show.
Yeah, so we can go there and do a live show. That's the goal.
Mhm. Yeah, there used
Or
to be
even
back in the day.
Hard Rock.
Okay, what?
I love that
Mhm.
place. No offense to the Horseshoe, but the Hard Rock's beautiful.
So we're gonna help the Horseshoe because that's where we're from.
Yeah.
Um, we do the whole show. We start with that. We have special guests tonight, so hang on to your seats. We've got Lake Central Volleyball here with Coach Naveed Nissam and two of his players.
How do you say that last name?
I think it's Nissan, like almost like
We'll find out.
Shazam.
We're saying it right in about 5 minutes, right?
And then
So-
your friend, a fellow thespian,
Yeah.
is coming on later after 7:30.
Yeah,
It's
Maggie Razor.
yeah.
I haven't
So
seen her in years.
financial.
She looks the same. I saw a picture.
Isn't she
I admire.
beautiful?
She hasn't changed. one bit.
Yes. So those are two that you're going to want to stick around for. So like I said, we usually start off with what we've got going on, the food, the fashion. What do you got with fashion today?
I decided to do the Tony Soprano look and just wear all black. Why not, right?
Oh, Tony
It's easy.
Soprano.
How can you mismatch
Well,
black?
I heard that like when you have black, that it's like very form fitting and you look put together. I've always been non, and I'm like, I really should have just wore black, but I wore red because there were so many red things happened this week.
Yes.
So we had an election. So President Trump will be back in.
Yeah.
They're red.
And I got to talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
The Republicans swept, okay, which is fantastic news, but it could have went the other way too. And here, I'm not biased either way. Am I a major Trump fan? Absolutely. But what I can't stand is people making negative comments about who you're going to vote for. It doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with who you are. And during the week, there's been some very negative Facebook posts and negative things all over from just a regular guy down the street talking bad about someone because who they voted for. That doesn't make you a bad person. So it doesn't matter who you voted for. Just be who you are. It doesn't matter.
So what's great about America is we are allowed to do that. But I think where it gets a little, we're allowed to vote for who we want, but where
Yeah.
it gets a little dicey is sometimes what their policies are. And you're like, I don't really agree with that. And I think it hurts some people. So I just said ignore and just try to be the best you can. That's all we can
It
do.
turned into a
And-
bully fest this week.
Oh.
It was crazy.
Oh.
Crazy.
So anyway, I did wear
So-
red for that, and the Chiefs pulled out a miracle, and I'm hoping that the Chiefs will help the Bears. That's what I'm hoping for, because I live in Chicago and I know them,
Oh,
so I'm trying to get some of that energy here. And then there was one other reason why I wore red today. Oh, IU's 10-0.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all that on the show today. And I think this is from New York and Company. They've gone out of business, but they've got some really cool women that model them. So I like that. I like their things. So food, fashion, weather. That was beautiful.
Crazy. And it's supposed to be like this pretty much the whole month.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I want
that'll be
I
nice.
want some sort of bad weather, right? So you
Well,
get
snow on Christmas and that's it.
yeah, right. Here, last year it snowed on Halloween.
Well,
It was
we
horrible.
were taking like a lot of times when is the first snowfall of the year? We were taking some
It's
like
October.
usually it is, but we're in
Yeah.
November.
We got
So
nothing.
I enjoy that. And I did look up, it is going to be pretty mild. I
Yeah.
think we get 2 more inches of snow this year, so it's 22 inches, but I'd prefer
So
none.
we're gonna get blasted in February, is what you're saying.
Well,
Probably.
probably
We'll
January.
get punished. then.
maybe some
Yeah,
December.
Yeah, there's when the punishment's coming.
I also, before we go into traffic, which we mentioned a little bit, I wanted to thank, because also I said, the people who helped me with my hip is Chesterton Physical Therapy. They've been very nice. And Janine at Hair's the Place helps me with my hair. So it's not an easy task. It's like every month I have to go get it cut because it's just growing. I'm like, oh,
It's
so
a woman thing. That's why I go every 6 weeks. I don't need that.
I don't know. It's just, it seems like, I think with the rain, my hair grows too. I'm out there cutting grass and they're like, oh, I'm getting rain on my hair. There it goes
Maybe.
too. So the weather, we talked about, oh, the traffic. I always like to mention that 555in.org.
It's been horrible.
So what's going on out there?
Here, I-80, for example.
Mhm.
Horrible.
What's happening? Is it
Here,
construction?
At 10, 11 o'clock at night, yeah, one lane. I usually come from Joliet at nighttime. It's usually a 35-minute drive. It took an hour and a half. The closer you get to Calumet Avenue and Ripley, it slows down to, it's horrible.
So it's construction.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
backed up by a stall, red light cameras. This will tell you the red light cameras. But I think the point is, let's just be conscientious. Let's just watch. Let's slow down. Let's plan ahead. Like I always need to plan a little bit more time,
Yeah.
take some side roads.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do have to fix the roads, so otherwise our tires are popping.
Let me tell you what happened. Speaking of tires popping. So I was on I-80 at midnight coming back from World Kia, right? Half the street was shut down like normal, and I'm driving, not thinking twice about it, right?
Mm.
They were pouring tar on the street, right? Repaving. Guess what? Two of my tires got filled with tar on the driver's side.
And what happens?
You can't get it off. And I just bought brand new tires for this Jeep, maybe a week before. I had to go buy more tires.
Which on the Jeep?
Yeah,
Oh.
you can't get it off.
Okay.
I'm like, what the heck? It was ridiculous.
Mm.
When-
So
when-
you have to be careful out there.
Yeah.
We did mention, if you want the Zoom link, it's on my page as well, and in Good Day WI. You can go behind the scenes even more. And we are trying to start an in-depth podcast. So we did delve a little deeper, which is kind of the pop-up that we did with the political panel. And then I think the region would be a good one. So we're going to try to continue to work on that as we move along. I did mention to you today, like, we have enough, but I'm like, this is for the next ideas, right? Because a lot of people to make things
does.
happen.
It does.
So I
Lot of
appreciate
production time.
all that you do, believe me. So moving into our, we do mention the pets too. I Want to Go Home was out at Highland Pet.
Petco,
Yes, she was
Yeah,
out.
off the
That's where I
boulevard.
got my little Oliver with
a
Sargi.
year ago.
Yeah, a
Wow.
little stinker. But we encourage people. What do we encourage them to do with the animals?
Adopt an animal.
Adopt,
great. No doubt about it.
donate to the shelters,
help them.
spay and neuter. The last time I only said neuter, so spay. I don't want to upset anybody.
Somebody
although it's easier to neuter, just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But our next guest coming on here, Coach Naveed and his two players from Lake
From Lake
Central. Mhm.
Yeah.
Outside hitter and a setter. One, if they want to come on out, they can introduce themselves and have a seat. It's starting to get really warm. You have fans?
Okay.
Turn the air on.
There is that.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I might have to take my jacket off,
Because it's
but I
nice.
didn't. I didn't zip my zipper though.
It's nice.
So who's got the mic on?
Both of us.
Okay, good.
Oh. Is
Good.
Naveed coming? Yeah, come on behind. All right.
Dude, he could sit over here.
He's gonna go behind. Every good coach stands behind the team and what is that? Paces the whole game. Yes, right?
I actually sit.
You sit?
I do.
Oh,
I try
God.
to stay calm.
Oh,
He's a calm guy.
I try
wow.
to stay
Wow, wow, wow. Let's say your names properly for us.
Lauren Smith.
Lauren Smith. Okay, that was an easy one. I saw that one.
Michaela Salinas.
So
Okay.
yes.
And Naveed Nizam.
Okay, it was reminding me of Shazam, another show that would date us. But I
Yes.
think I watched the reruns in that as well.
There you go.
So we're in Northwest Indiana. We're going to name off all the cities and we'll come back to you because in the sports,
And they're from Lake Central.
yeah. So
Right.
your cities
Huge school. Huge.
John
are St. John,
Meyer, sure.
right? We're from Whiting Hammond.
Yeah.
East Chicago, Munster. Anybody just rattle them out? What other ones are around you?
Gary.
Gary,
Gary.
Griffith,
Yep.
Highland.
Highland.
Cedar Lake,
Cedar Lake,
Lowell.
Crown Point.
Crown Point.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go
Maryville.
into, Maryville. Now we're gonna
There's
go
a lot of
into Porter County, because you're in the DAC, so these are the big schools.
Yes.
I'm a sportster. We go way back to like Omni
Omni
days. So who are the big towns?
You got Valparaiso, Chesterton,
Mhm.
you have Portage.
Yep.
LaPorte.
Oh, yeah, they're in LaPorte County,
Yeah, that's
Michigan
all
City.
That's all our DACs.
Mhm. Now, if we're missing any
Oh,
of the
Michigan
little
City, sorry,
ones,
Michigan City.
yep, they're in
Yeah.
LaPorte. Any little ones, like those little towns, Wheeler, Boone Grove,
Yep.
Couts, Knox,
Yep.
New
Washington Township.
New Prairie,
New Prairie, Washington Township. You
New
have
Lake
also,
Station.
Morgan
um,
Township.
Trying to think of the little ones, but most of the time in Lake County, we're pretty big.
Yeah.
Then it used to be the country, but now they're getting bigger as we go, that'd be heading east. So right now I look on either of the phones on me or Pete's and name off somebody. We give a shout out and a prize to one of our anybody watching. You see anybody on there? What can you say, one of them?
I literally Bernardo. I can't see the last name.
What's the first name?
Bernardo.
Okay, that's who gets the prize. So you guys get a pen, you get cards,
Yep.
and then Maggie will get the pen when she comes.
So I
for
have
the
to ask,
new one.
Lake Central, what's the pipe? 3,000? What is that? I mean, right?
About, yeah.
It's huge. So the competition has to be fierce, right? So when you go try out, there must be hundreds of girls lined up, right? I would think.
Yeah, what do we have, like 60
Yeah,
girls try
60
out?
girls try out.
Wow. And you nail down to how many? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
About
How many a team?
12, 14 per
Really?
team.
Oh, wow.
Yep, they're stellar.
And we have 3 teams.
You have to be. Yeah.
So varsity JV, freshmen. And ta-da, the boys are playing volleyball. Are you the coach
Are
of
they
them
really?
too?
I am that.
Yes,
They
they
really?
play in the spring
So
though,
we
right?
started- Yeah, so we started 2 years ago. This is our 3rd year, and we're now officially IHSAA now. We weren't sanctioned, but this is our first sanction year.
Now, how many years have you been in Lake Central?
Coaching girls, this is my 4th. My 4th season.
And you also train. 'Cause when I was talking to you, you said you were doing some training as well.
I do.
And what else do you, I have Dad down for you because I was talking to him on the phone. He has a daughter in Manhattan and a daughter in LA. And I'm like, how delightful.
Yeah. I got 2 kids. One's out of college. She just graduated from Indiana last year. Now works for Macy's headquarters in Manhattan.
Oh,
So
good.
She's in Midtown. And then my youngest daughter, she's a senior at Pepperdine in Malibu.
Wow.
So she's going to school there. Oh no, trust me, we'll be happy when she graduates.
Hey, but there's still
I
the
bet.
places to visit,
I bet.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So a little bit more about you guys. So, when we played smaller schools, did all the sports, now you pretty much focus in this volleyball, your main thing.
Yeah.
What clubs are you at?
I used to play at Kilo.
Oh, okay. So I know Craig.
Mhm,
I'm very
yeah.
sportsy. And
I
we're,
played Ignite.
okay. And is that still, the couple who?
No, so Michelle Thompson owns Ignite.
Oh, that's right. And then
And-
there was Epic United. That was the couple.
Yeah.
What were
And
their names?
So they're now, Ignite is now in
Griffith.
Oh, okay. Because he took over their spot. It's like, what, do you remember their names? Because they were pretty nice couple.
Ryan and Tracy Summit.
Yes. So not only it's just wonderful to have you here and the girls. So and I'm hoping that all this stuff with all the like Caitlin trickles down to every other sport, soccer, volleyball, and the Olympics. I'm hoping maybe you two will be the team, the duo on the
It's a-
Olympics.
Sure, since Lake Central is so huge, you have a lot of scouts that go there and scout.
Not so much for school, for club they
Club,
do.
it's more
Got it,
related
got it,
onto the
got it.
clubs, and softball was the
So,
same way. If you
yeah,
got in the
so
club, they kind of
usually-
feed
there's
you in.
usually Big tournaments that are called qualifiers and nationals
Mhm.
in the club world for volleyball. And, like Indianapolis hosts one called MEQ, Mideast Qualifier. Chicago hosts one it's all at the Big Convention Centers.
Mhm.
And I was
It's
there
really
in a
cool
couple-
too. I love it. I
was
miss
there
it
just
so
having a
much.
Conversation with somebody. So when they go to Indianapolis, they're using Lucas Oil too. So there's courts on the stadium.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So I think they hold about 142 courts, and Chicago holds about 142 courts sometimes. So they could be medium size, big size. So, all the coaches want to just go to one place. So you get all the D1, D2, D3s, JUCOs, NAIA coaches. They all go there. So
What grade are you guys in?
We're both seniors.
Wow.
So are you going to go to college somewhere?
Not
Right.
for volleyball though.
No. Wow. That's, I mean,
And that's
I was,
okay.
I was the mom and
okay.
I had a hard time with it, but I played basketball, so I went and played.
Yeah.
So where are you going to go?
I think IU.
Okay.
Awesome. Love it.
And why don't you want to play volleyball?
I don't know. I think I've always known because I want to go to a big school.
I'll talk to you after the show.
She might go there and change your mind. You never know. Just leave her alone.
I mean, like looking back on my life, I would highly recommend continuing your sport, but there is a club there that you might be able to do that. And like my kids are always like, God, it's too much work. When you get into real life, that's work. When you're doing this, that's fun. Where are you going?
I committed to play volleyball. It's called IUC, IU Columbus. So it's like 45 minutes away from the big IU.
Columbus, Ohio?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Oh, IU.
know that's
Right next to Nashville.
Oh, I've not
Good
heard
for
of
you.
that
Good.
one. Which level is that?
It's NAI.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever one. I just like sports because you're supervised, you get tired, it keeps you out of trouble. Like you're nuts. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's better than juvenile detention. Believe me. I mean, it doesn't always work that way, but that was always my like comeback.
At least you're going to school. That's important.
Yeah.
I have to ask you. You have 60 girls that try out.
100.
No, just 60.
Oh,
60.
60. I'm sorry.
You make the
That's
decision
not-
on your own on who you're going to keep and who you're not. How do you do that?
So we have a whole staff,
Uh-huh.
and so we bring in outside adults also that have been with our program for a couple of years that come in and help us make those decisions. Sometimes decisions are made based on numbers. So we do a thing with our passing, and we stat our passing, and we look and see it's on the board on who's passing well, who's struggling, and we look at the consistency, and that's part of that.
Mm.
We also look for players that are aggressive, that are consistent, that are communicating. Also, a lot of chemistry with the players. Who works well together, who doesn't work well
I
together.
never would have thought of that. But you're right.
Nice.
So
You're right.
Get
So
along.
these are the things that our coaching staff is designed to look at and identify. At the end of the day, it's still my decision.
Yeah, you have the final say so,
I
right?
do, but I trust our staff tremendously, and I think they've done a great job the last 4 years. I mean, we've had a little bit of turnover in our staff for the better. My JV coach last year has going on to move on to play the head coach at Portage now. So
Oh,
he's-
who was that?
Dave Ortiz.
Oh, I saw them because Portage played. Who did they just play? Chesterton. Oh yeah, Chesterton. Then
They're in the
Chesterton
they're in
moved
the
on.
conference. Yeah, they're in the conference.
I was
yeah.
going to ask you
So
something
Dave
else
is-
about
Dave
that.
is the new head coach, and then the freshman coach was my assistant coach last year from JV, and then the varsity assistant was my varsity assistant. So he took the whole staff with him.
I'm
which is a
looking
good
for
thing.
That's because you taught them well,
Yeah.
right? That's good. You have to feel good.
I
about
think overall, I just like that they're doing well and they're having fun.
Yeah.
They're not getting hurt, and like whoever wins. That's how I am in any competition in my life. You prepare, you play fair, and whoever wins, good luck to you because it ain't an
Yeah.
easy job.
Yeah.
So
it. So have you been playing volleyball the whole 4 years at school?
Yes.
Wow.
they probably since they were 5,
Really?
right? How old were you?
I started in 7th grade just because that's when it starts
12?
for like middle school.
Okay.
I started I officially joined a team in 7th grade, but before that I would like play with my sister because my sister's 2 years older than me and
Yeah.
she plays volleyball too.
Probably just having fun in the yard doing stuff with the balls and stuff. So they're perennial powerhouses. Like the DAC is one of the strongest conferences, and we go downstate, and there are some other pretty good ones down there, especially in volleyball. But I've seen it in basketball and swimming, because these are all the sports, and there's also extracurriculars. Like when I played, I was allowed to do band and student council, so you were able. It's a little bit harder at bigger schools and now in this day and age. But is there anything else that you guys do that you would like to like give a shout out to like family and friends and something else that you love? Food, pets.
Oh my gosh, I love food.
like what's your favorite? Like what's like give a shout out to your favorite restaurant in the area.
Wingstop.
Ooh, where's that at?
There's one in Highland.
Okay, all
Not
right,
far from here, actually.
all right. Because we
Yes.
talk about that on the show too.
Oh yeah.
I just went to Little Italy like 2 days ago.
I love that
Really
place.
good.
Yeah.
Where's-
I love
where's
going
that
there.
at?
It's on 30 and Dyer.
Yeah.
It's really
Right
good.
across from the
Really
post
good.
office.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fantastic.
All
We're
right.
actually catering our
Oh, yeah,
banquet
yeah.
Penn State.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So where were you before you went to Lake Central?
I've been everywhere. This is my 35th year
Everywhere.
coaching.
Wow.
So I started in Hammond at Scott Middle School.
Okay.
Didn't really know the game very well, but then I went to a club in Chicago called Second City.
Mm.
Coached club there for several years, and then left and came over to Indiana here and coached for a club called Altitude, which is now part of Epic. And then
Mhm.
I left Altitude and went to a club in Chicago called Nishio, which is Second City 2.0. And so right now I
We played against
coaching-
you.
I could coaching, but I'm just our coach college recruiting. That's what I do. But as far as schools, I've coached collegiately at St. Xavier as an assistant. I've coached at Bishop McNamara in Illinois. Andrean as an assistant, as the head coach. Munster as the head coach from
Oh, wow.
97 to 04. And then this is my new job. And like what Becky was saying earlier, you know, I do lessons. So I do private lessons on the side with kids. And I don't discriminate which kids I work with. I can work with right now kids from LaPorte all the way to Naperville, all the way down to Lowell. So it's
Because
like,
I asked if you're a teacher at Lake Central. And she said no.
no.
You don't always have to be
didn't know that.
at the
Sometimes you
schools.
To be
They,
varsity coach, you do
they
sometimes.
encourage it because they try to broaden the pay.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're like, well, we really want a great coach that we don't have on our staff, so you can come in
I've been
and do
fortunate. I
that.
mean, our administration has been very, very supportive of everything that we've done in our program and has really helped us grow our program tremendously by allowing us to, we have a program that we started last year called Little Bumpers. It's our first through fourth graders.
So now, do you have a mic on? I'm just making sure that, I'm just making, oh, good, I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
That's all right.
so called Little Bumpers. Yeah, our first and fourth graders are hilarious. to look at. These guys, we make them work it. We make them work it.
Did you start with balloons?
No.
I did that when they were little. I started with the balloon or a light ball.
Yeah, there's new volleyballs that are like a cloth, but it's like a balloon inside. So the kids absolutely love it. I mean, these guys get irritated by it, but still.
With
it's
what?
Irritated by it sometimes.
By what?
What, the
kids
light
sometimes.
balls? The light
No,
balls?
the kids.
Oh, the kid, well,
No, I love
kids,
the kids.
kids are irritating, just FYI.
No, I love the
You were
kids.
there at one point.
And then we do a fifth and eighth grade program, fifth to eighth grade program. So we're trying to develop our program and try and develop some of the other players in the area, so like that. So we're trying to really bring up the level of volleyball.
So what I've noticed, there's lots of different activities besides sports. And they call these, the cheerleaders are athletes as well. They're competing now. We also have like show choir. They're very athletic and beautiful and madrigals. But there's other sports going on at these schools. So do you guys go to those? And I did hear, so I'm watching Crown Point because I'm going to give them, some information here. Football's going on as
Yeah.
well because you guys are finished. You were knocked out of the tournament. Who won for the 4A?
Before I went,
Volleyball.
Fort Wayne Carroll just beat
Fort Wayne.
Yorktown, who's a perennial, who's a powerhouse.
Okay.
And Carroll, this is their, I don't know how long, it's since I've been around the area, I haven't seen Carroll down there. We
Oh.
played Hamilton Southeastern in
Another
the Final
big
Four.
school.
When her sister
Carmel.
was a junior,
Uh-huh.
senior. We played in the Final Four against them, and they're just a big powerhouse. They had like 7 D1 kids in that program.
So what I've noticed is once you start winning and you're a perennial, people start to look when they're moving, what school for my kid is going to do what? So I think I noticed the football team that a kid
Yeah.
from Tennessee came up and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, snap.
Well, he came out to wrestle originally.
Oh, well, see,
And
well,
then they grabbed him for football.
yeah, well, because they're good at wrestling too. So it seems like, just FYI, Crown Point is the hot spot. So we gotta take that back,
We're
Naveen.
trying.
Yeah, Lake Central, Chesterton.
And Lake
Oh.
Central has more population, so you would think
Next month.
because of it.
Yeah.
December, I have big news coming out of Chesterton, so you gotta tune in. That'll be right before my surgery. Oh, we might do a little pop-up in between. But do you want to see, I think Maggie is here. Anything else before we sign off with you guys?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you guys.
I'm
for
glad
coming.
you came.
Go
This is great. I've been
Indians.
asking.
Thank you.
We're Chiefs fans too, so, that's a little controversial, but I'm like, if you're respectful to the mascot, like if they were calling me the Slovak and like the Whiting Slovaks and they had babushkas on, I'm like, yay team. Thanks again, you guys.
Well, thank
That's
you very
beautiful.
much.
Good luck. Good luck with the rest of
Thanks for coming
everything.
in.
And share with your friends
Oh, yeah.
and and keep watching.
Thank you so much.
Yep. And so Maggie will need 2 of the mics. One Boya and one Bauer.
Thank you.
Well, snap, they're very close. Oh, that's Maggie.
Yeah.
So come on down, Maggie, you'll go in the green room and then you'll sign her and do all that stuff with Grace. So yeah, that was our friends from down the road
He
here.
has to be a very patient guy to deal with 60 girls.
My
Right?
coach used to say, coaching girls, boys, you just say, girls, you got to work.
Stop it with the
You got to
guys, right.
worry about like the hair and the other feminine things and how things
The
look
crying,
and
the whining. all that.
well, Okay,
Right,
well,
kind of.
we kind of do that, but there's also, but like girl stuff, you know, that boys don't
Right, right. No,
necessarily
I understand.
have.
Right,
But
right, right.
yeah, I think you used to just say like the boys, you could just tell, this is how it's gonna be and you're done. And then they might do, you know, that and then they're done. Girls, they keep on keeping on.
Well, you have two of them, you don't have none, so I don't know about
Oh,
that. I couldn't tell you.
anywho,
That's
you
interesting.
have to worry about a lot more stuff with girls, especially in
Yep.
today's day and age, because I think even like when I was in college playing, he could not come into the locker room without a female assistant with him.
Really?
Oh, and doctors' offices are like that too. A male cannot come in without a female assistant.
Hmm.
But I mean, the lines are being blurred, but I think the point is you need two people so you can corroborate a story if something
Yeah, yeah,
went
right,
amiss,
right. Yeah,
You mean you don't have to do that when you're at the
I do.
car dealership?
I do.
Okay, yeah.
The only time we do that is, I hate to say this, let's say we're having a meeting or terminating,
Well, that's
Then we
hard
have to.
news,
Yeah,
right?
which
You
I
might
hate
want to
doing that.
close that door behind us a little bit. But I also wanted to mention in the sports, so nationally, I turned on the TV and I'm flipping. Women's soccer was on, which was cool. That was going on throughout the world because, you know, football is probably the most
Yeah,
popular.
big time.
And then
Big time.
look at this one right here. Who won the World
Are you
Series?
kidding me? I can't see anything.
Well, you know who won the World
Even with
Series?
glasses on, nothing. I don't follow anything.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers won the World Series. Was this past week too? This was a big week in the US. Yeah.
A lot of news, lots of everything.
just
a lot
let you
of
know,
crazy stuff happening.
Most
this week.
people around the world
Yeah.
do like Americans.
Here.
I've always had good interactions as I've traveled
And the
around the
World
world.
Series played during the week. I get it. And some people like myself don't watch during the year, but that week you're a baseball fan, you know, just to see what happens, right? That's the truth.
One of the things my boss from the Netherlands, who I think his family came from Suriname in South America, he goes, I don't understand how it's the World Series when it's only in America. And I'm like, I don't know. Nobody else has baseball. I mean, I'll come here.
That's why they call it the world.
World Champ. So well, the
funny.
soccer though, that's like international. So I'm like, well, then
But
they
they
have
call
that.
soccer football, like you said.
Football.
That's what soccer
And,
is. It's
well,
not the football that we know. It's
yeah.
soccer.
And I mean, like, if they want to come, they can come and then they can play in our league. But we have Americans that go to other countries and play in their championships, like
Yeah.
the European. But he's just like, I don't understand why the world isn't. I'm like, well, because most people are over here doing it. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
Anywho, and we love them. So don't be mad. Just seem to gravitate here. We've got good weather. We've got a lot of support. Got great fans.
Yeah.
So we're trying to help the world. But if they don't want to help, if they don't want to accept the help, what can,
Well,
for being as
hopefully-
powerful as we are, we're pretty darn nice.
Well, hopefully things get easier for everybody.
Yeah, let's hope.
Let's hope.
So we had a break at
Yeah.
7:30. We have the announcer, but if David wants to say anything, I'm really looking for somebody who wants to come on. I go to all these different things throughout the Northwest Indiana. So it's Lake Porter LaPorte, there's Jasper, Newton, Kosciuszko, Stark. Look at that, I'm learning. But come on and bring your jewelry, bring your clothes, bring your art. We'll talk about it, and then you can sell it.
If you open up a new business, new restaurant, come on. Let's let everyone know about
Yeah.
it, right?
So we've got guests, we've got cities.
Because we have a lot of eyeballs. That's what I call
sponsors.
viewers, is eyeballs. And someone's going to see it somewhere and remember
Mm-hmm.
and drive by Crown Point somewhere and say, hey, I heard about that place and show up.
There's something I just heard was being advertised on one of my favorite guys is this Cole guy that does How About Those Chiefs? It's called, I think, Now What? And you can, and the first girl that came on, can't remember her name now, but she utilizes that with her products. If David Lane was here, he would tell me, but he scooted to the back. Anyway, if you want to come on, we would love to have you on. And also toward the end, after Maggie, we usually pick an impact winner. If you know anybody in your community that's really not getting a lot of promotion, that you think is doing great things, message us,
Mhm.
and we'll make them an impact
Bring 'em
winner.
out.
Right?
Yeah. Let's do it for the holidays, right?
Oh yeah, the
There's a lot
holidays.
of people donate and
Holidays.
do all kinds of stuff
So-
around Christmas and
So
Thanksgiving.
here we go. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. We
Yeah.
have Christmas and New Year's.
Oh,
And
Wow.
was we were mentioning the different things that people could come on and get involved in the show.
Mhm.
So just send us messages. We're us or on the or to
Especially charities. We want to see you. We've had a lot of charities on this year,
nonprofits.
especially now not-for-profits charities. Come on. We'll help you.
Yes.
We'll back it. We'll
Ads.
make sure people donate to help your cause. Know that about it,
Okay.
right?
So we're going to go into events. There's, I don't even know if we did trending stories. I think we skipped over those too. So let's do a little
You
bit
got
of.
excited with the volleyball stuff. that we had over
Yes,
here.
where I changed up some, trending stories.
okay.
Oh, okay. So let's do a little bit of trending stories and then the events. Well, we did talk about that.
Yeah, you're president.
Michigan City Zoo is now open through November. There's people I don't think know that we have a zoo in Michigan City.
I've been there lots of times. They're all retired zoo animals from other zoos is what they are.
They are?
Yeah, all of them are
I
retired.
don't know. The lion looked young to me.
Well, and
It's like,
here,
they just
well,
built a
that's what I
new
was told.
den.
They're all retired.
Well,
Because the times I've been there and walked through, it's kind of a cool place, actually. It's really unique, right?
yeah, I think it's like a castle
They kinda
land or
look at you
something.
and, that's the attitude the animals have.
They built a new den though, and I think they brought in these young lions.
Really?
I'm telling you,
It's a-
they were
I like
moving
that
around.
place.
It's beautiful. What else is in here? Dolly Parton has an imagination library, and Dollywood is also beautiful too. But if you sign up, you can go to her website. They'll send you a free book. They send you free books. The kids like under a certain age, but I thought that was pretty
That's cool.
lovely. Oh, this is a big one.
Veterans Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I just read it.
So these
Wow.
things like there's a lot. Yeah. I posted on Good Day NWI all the different events that are going on. So the vets, we thank you, and all the other
I
people
like
that,
this holiday
that
train
help
deal.
us. Oh yeah, I actually saw it. I was coming back from Ford one morning through the night. I think I was pregnant on the east side. 4 or 5 a.m. I'm stopped, and there goes the train.
I said we go.
It just comes through your area. Oh, you want to get up at 5 and do
I
that?
will go.
I posted that too.
I would go.
It is coming through our area very early in the morning. I think is it from Canada? I
I
think
don't
I was trying to
Kind
figure
of
out.
cool. I've seen it. I've seen
It's
it on
beautiful.
TV. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I
My
would go
voice
there.
gets a little high.
To say you did it, why not, right? There's something to do.
Events. So there's a lot of high school, college, pro events going on all over the area. If you're lucky enough to go, I know Taylor Swift she's almost ending her tour. It's got one more month. She's been on it for a long time, but that's been pretty popular.
Yeah.
Right. So Lauren was like, Mom, I found tickets. I'm like, Lauren, please remember when you got scammed for Lollapalooza. I don't think I had to spend an hour with her figuring out that it was a scam.
They charge you $1,200 for a ticket and
They
you
don't
get
send
there,
it.
it's nothing.
They
Or-
didn't
yeah,
send
or-
it. Yeah, it was a lie.
It's crazy.
Holiday markets, parades, church, region meetings, and family. But here's some specifics. Read that one. This was very interesting.
Uncommon habits to increase trust.
Joy engagement. It's in Maryville this Thursday. I remember she was director of the Chamber of the Crossroads Sioux. She's sponsoring that. You can go on, just Google it. I just thought that was kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of like a church thing, but if you're not, if you don't go to church, then you go to something like that.
Do something
Yeah.
to enrich yourself, right? And don't wait till the holidays to do it. Everybody waits till the holidays.
To do what? Go to church?
Yeah, they do the holiday church thing,
Oh,
right?
yeah. You should
And
probably
during the
do
year, you
that.
forget about it. You
should probably
forget
do
about
that
it.
weekly.
Yeah, don't do that.
I still do on my phone in the morning if I can't get to it because of the pandemic. They were doing all the Zooms, so that's our Facebook Lives, which is really nice. You can still get bits and pieces of that.
Yeah.
Sunset Hill in Valpo. Oh yeah, you can bring her out. They have a drive-through. You can go through and drive through the lights. It's in Valpo on Route
Where?
6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like 49 over in that direction.
And it opened already?
I think it is because I saw it. So it's probably, yeah, I'm thinking it is. I thought this was cool. I'm hearing a lot of this going on now.
I can't see.
Line dancing.
Line dancing. I used to go line dancing someplace called, somewhere in Chesterton. I forgot the name of it. I used to do it. This is a long time.
Show us.
Hold
We're gonna do a pop-up. We're gonna go out and do a pop-up. There's a place in Portage. I went to take some Golden. His daughter has started it. It's line dancing, but there's a Lowell Country Junction, I think
There's
is
one in Aurora that does that too.
Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't, well, Pete goes out there. I don't really go
I
that
go out
way.
there. I want actually.
They're open till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, this is the
They
one in
open at
Lowell
4 p.m.
too.
and open at, like,
And now
4
Gary
p.m.
has one at 3669 Broadway. That's pretty cool.
Line dancing?
Yeah, on Saturday nights. Yeah, I Googled this before I come and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do that because it's also a good way to get exercise and it's fun, right?
You have to get some cowboy boots, wear a hat, and let's go. right? In order to fit in the right way.
When I
you
was
know.
in Montana, we went to the Eagle's Nest. I can't believe I remember this, and I think my mother loved it. My friend who's teaching me, she starts spinning around. She just spun and fell right down in her boots because the boots are slippery.
That was her exit. It wasn't even staged, right? It was there you go.
Dingus Day is November 16th. I'm
Yeah.
learning about that. I think it's halfway to something, and it's got the Polish bird on there. So I'm like, oh, that sounds fun.
And they call it Dingus Day?
Yeah. Anybody knows what that is? Go ahead and message us.
Wow.
I could Google that.
Okay.
Who's this?
Gary Owen Horseshoe.
Owen. I think it was Owen. I missed the E. He's at the Horseshoe. Who is that? Who's Gary Owen?
It has to be a comedian, right?
Comedian.
Yeah,
Right, it has to
comedian
be.
David.
Yeah.
Yeah, comedian. Okay, because I know like you kind of you know all those things at the venues, and then this is your favorite. I
Yeah,
put it in there.
Godspell. You have to go see Godspell. I've been in Godspell 4 different times. You have to go see it. It's awesome. And it usually plays around the holidays. I know who's directing the show, so we're definitely going to go for sure.
Well,
Don't miss it.
with that being said, oh, some of the beautiful people are in it, and I can't remember. I think Mike's directing. With that being said, fellow thespian is here.
Yep, Maggie Reiser.
Yeah, come on in.
I haven't seen you in years.
And what else was
Long
there?
time.
I didn't go
Come on in.
anywhere.
Come
She still looks the same.
I love
Mike.
I looked at
it.
Facebook the other day. Wow.
Beautiful. Gosh,
Oh,
you look so nice.
Thanks.
Yes.
Well, I had to dress up for a
Oh
special
my gosh, with the color and
occasion.
everything. And the
I love those
There
glasses.
is it.
Aren't they awesome?
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chris at Eyewear on the Square in Crown Point.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like the colors.
yeah, thanks.
So I saw Maggie. We've kind of been phone tagging, and then we were at a Now meeting, and I'm like, "Aren't you the Maggie from Crown Point with finances?" I'm Becky, who we've been like phone tagging. So I saw her
Yeah.
yesterday because she's a financial planner, and she goes, "I don't know how much I could do, but I'm like, just say some general stuff to our watchers about money." Because I told people it's
Here's what
money
you do.
tonight.
Send 500,000 each to start with. and
That's
just
all
go
you
from
need.
there.
Yep.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you gotta do.
The rest is easy after that. Right.
Very
So
much.
more importantly, what show are you in now?
I am in Beat Nick's Christmas show,
Okay.
Dad's Christmas Miracle. I play the teacher.
Oh, I put down A Christmas Carol.
Oh.
What's the name of this? What's the name of this?
That was
one?
last year.
I'm
I was in
sorry.
A Christmas Carol
Maybe that's
in
why.
Miller.
Oh,
They
okay.
did a Reader's Theater Christmas Carol. It was amazing. Yeah, it was just 6 people, and we played multiple characters, and we did a Reader's Theater Christmas Carol last year. And I did the Beat Nick's Christmas show. They didn't overlap amazingly. So
When is this one coming? When
this
can we
can be
go
the
see it?
first 2 weekends of December. So closing Sunday is December 15th
Okay.
at Beat Nick's on Conkey in Hammond.
I
So,
know exactly where that's at.
so you guys have been in this for years in
Yes.
theater?
Absolutely.
35 years, maybe 40 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's
Something
been
like
what's
that.
been
Yeah.
like your favorites? I know you said
Well,
Godspell.
here, the best
Oh.
experience I've ever had was at Dune Summer Theater.
Ooh.
Were we in a show together? Did you do
I did
1776?
Godspell with Kevin Geis.
Oh, I
When
heard
was-
about
when
it.
was
I didn't
that?
do
Oh
Godspell.
my God.
I can't believe I didn't audition for it because they're doing it right now.
They're doing it
Yeah.
now.
I didn't audition.
So
It's hard to do all of them,
they,
you know.
they
There's
have these
a lot.
little like hut things that you stay there during the summer and you rehearse and you do your show.
What
and you
town is
see-
that?
Oh,
Michigan
yeah.
City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the outskirts, on the east side of
Mhm.
Michigan City,
Yeah.
up closer to the dunes, right?
You have to know how to
did you
get there
actually
to
live
find
there,
it.
Pete?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
stayed there for the
Did
summer.
you?
I did,
Did you?
yeah.
I
love
have a
that.
friend who
Wow.
spent some of the time this summer. She was in one of the shows. Amanda Tomczak
Wow.
did that this summer.
If I
yeah.
see the picture, I'll know right away. But
yeah.
I've been doing this since I was 18 years old.
Yeah,
Doing summer theater.
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
everywhere. Genesis Guild was the guild I worked
That's
at.
the one in
Oh,
Munster.
And Marion Theater Guild
Genesius.
And what's
of
the one
Hammond.
in Munster that was controversial for a while?
Oh, you're talking about the Art Center?
Yeah, what is it
Performing
called
Arts Center
though?
is just-
Performing
The
Arts, right.
Performing
Right,
Arts
right, right,
Center.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yes,
they're an
yes.
equity place.
They're
so
an
Which
it's-
equity
is,
place now.
but you
But at
could
first they
go
were
there.
not.
Yeah, that's
Right.
First they
correct.
were
And then
not.
give a shout out to Larry because he was
Mhm.
involved in that.
Well, here
as
I'll
well as Munster.
I'll do the Wayback Machine at
Mhm.
the no longer Radisson, the
Oh,
Star
right,
Plaza.
the Star Plaza.
that.
Well,
Which
there was
alley?
no Star Plaza at this point. This
Mm.
was in the early 70s, and they did a theater in the round in the conference center. And I was in to see how they run. We did 3 shows that summer. Do you remember Martha Ottebacher? She was in it. It was crazy.
Now,
What was your favorite through your whole life?
Oh, through my whole
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot. Ross, Ross Music Theater. I've
I
done a
was
few
in a
of their
show with Ross,
shows.
Oh
too,
yeah,
at
they're
the
very good
Star
at
Plaza.
Maryville.
Ross
Uh-huh.
did gospel
At
at
the-
the Star
Oh,
Plaza.
at the Star Plaza,
And-
that's
and I
right,
was
a
on-
couple.
At the Star Plaza, it was
Mhm.
3,200 people. You're like, wow, but you forget they're there. You know,
That's
the
what you
lights
have
come on.
pictures
You
in
do,
there,
you
don't
do.
you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Do you have a favorite
I did the
performance?
vagina monologue
At the Star Plaza.
at the Star Plaza.
With
Yeah, it was
Ross?
Patty,
Wow.
it was Pat, no, not with Ross, it was Patty Schaffner.
Now, Ross been around for 30-some
Yeah.
years also.
You're very
I've never
good.
done the Ross
Reinhardt's?
I've only done a few of the Ross, but.
Is Ross
They're
and
better
Reinhardt
though.
the same?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Okay, the
Yes.
Reinhardt's helped the Ross Theater, right? And so give a shout
Well,
out to Jamie.
The
think
Reinhardt
that's how it
started,
is.
the right, but the
Reinhardt
Ross
started it, and
Theater
then in the
was
auditorium.
Right.
in the
Right.
Maribel Auditorium, but it was open to the community, so, because I lived in Munster.
Did you have a favorite role?
I have a couple.
Tell
I have a
me,
couple.
Tell me.
I just went to see, I wasn't in it, but I just went to see Agnes of God. I played Mother
Oh.
Miriam Ruth. That was a favorite role.
Ooh.
I played a Nazi interrogator in a
Ooh.
2-person show called A Picasso. It was Picasso and his Nazi interrogator. 90 minutes, no intermission.
Oh, wow.
So that was
Oh, that's a lot.
that was tough. We won some NEDF awards for that show. It was kind of a clean sweep. So
Do you
that was
sing?
exciting.
Do you sing?
I also sing. Yep, I had a couple roles in the Ross Summer Music Theater. And again, I was in Highland. I was in Highland Summer Theater.
I
I
was
did
too.
Annie. I did Annie one year.
I was in Highland too. And actually, I was Captain Von Trapp in Highland.
Oh, what is that
And
show? What's
Hill,
what's the
Music
name?
Man.
What's the name of that show?
Sound of Music.
Sound of
Oh,
Music.
Sound of
Yep,
Music.
Yeah.
Sound of Music.
So what's coming
Mhm.
up? And like, so I always ask folks. I mean, do you want to be on Broadway, or do you just do this kind of as a fun thing?
Some have moved,
Just
got their start here,
Yeah.
and and then went on to Broadway. Or
Yeah.
I met a friend of mine's friend was the son of one of my high school teachers, and he became a professional dancer in New York. He still lives there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice
Wow.
to be involved
You
because
never
then you
know.
have friends everywhere. And
Yeah. Yeah.
tell me something about theater that people wouldn't know, like something that
Oh, wow.
folks wouldn't know.
Well, they don't know a lot. I mean, it's
The
kind of
thing
the
about it,
best kept secret is
the-
the Northwest Indiana Community Theater.
And
There's
the
so
bond-
many.
The bond
So
that we all have, let me
Mhm.
tell you, especially when you're done with the show, the saddest part is
Yeah.
leaving the people you've been rehearsing with and
It's
doing the
It's
show
like a
with.
team. It's
That's
like
the
a
saddest
team,
part.
isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
I
is.
just remember though, I just did
Yeah.
that little piece, but it was a lot of work. It was every night, and I don't know if I
Yes.
could. I'm
It
like,
is tough.
it was just a fun part of my life. So I'm gonna give a shout out to the beautiful people, and they did say that it's going somewhere else in production, and then we have a little group that we do different things with. So Jalen just did. I want to give him a shout out. He's very talented. Do you know Jalen Halliburton? So he did a
I haven't
little.
been in a show with him yet, but yes.
He did like a little
He did a lot of-
TikTok thing. So it was
Did
really,
he?
yeah, like
he's
a
done
fu-
some of the Shakespeare.
Yeah,
and,
he did it on Beautiful, and he put all the pieces together, and it was very nice. I shared that.
Nice, very nice.
So besides theater, though, because I do want to help people, because I told people it's about money, just some general things.
You want to know about
Right.
money? I thought I should share my very first year in the business. So I didn't know much, right? I was at college and I worked a little bit and I had no money. And I went to do my taxes. And the accountant said, well, you could save some money on taxes if you opened an IRA. And I said, oh, okay. But I didn't have any money. So I went to the bank and I borrowed $2,000. That was the most you could put in an IRA at that point. I borrowed $2,000. I paid it back over a year. I had my very first investment. And then I bought a life insurance policy. And that was, I don't know, $100,000. And I didn't have $100,000. I barely had any money. I was struggling just to make it. But I realized that it would be $100,000
Right.
Well, it's
upon
Right.
my death,
Right.
and I mean, it's like money when it's needed. And so some of those concepts, compound interest, learning those concepts, compound interest, tax-free death benefit, the things that you can put in place to protect your family and to build your net worth. Those are invaluable lessons. But money's an addiction in this country.
Yes, it is.
Nothing in the culture hardly encourages us to save money, but lots of messages about spending money.
Our parents do a good job. So we do say to save and to
Mhm.
spend and invest. So
Yes.
those are some good things.
So you do stock market stuff and all that stuff?
I do. I'm Series 7 licensed and all that stuff, but I'm not supposed to talk about that.
you can,
Too
you can
much.
research her.
But I can tell you, I started in the business in 1984. I've got all kinds of, licenses. I worked with John Hancock until 2000, and then I went over to Mass Mutual, which is West Point Financial, part of the Mass Mutual. So that's my career since then, and I'm retirement age, but I could retire, but I'm working because I really enjoy it.
You'd be too bored.
What would you do? I
Right,
don't know.
I like one of the concepts that we talked about, especially as a single woman or as a woman in any status, credit cards. Try not to spend on credit cards what you can't pay at the end of the month to carry the interest. And I also was very concerned about front-loaded interest on loans, which at some time in your life you have to take out a loan, but I try not to. But cars are hard to buy and houses are hard to buy, so you got to be smart about
Well,
that.
the Rule
stuff.
7/8
Very,
has
very
come
much.
out, and that's changed, because we had the same thing with auto loans.
Mhm.
They don't front load, you can't front load interest anymore.
On
You
the
can't do-
auto,
no.
but the house is,
Well,
right?
it kind of is, kind of is.
It kind
Not
of is
really.
because you're paying more interest when you owe more,
Yeah,
right? There's
yeah.
more interest because you
Yeah.
owe more, and as you spend down the principal, you owe
But
less.
years ago, you're right,
Mhm,
they're gonna
mhm.
charge you 30%, they're gonna collect you 30%, then you start hitting your principal.
Yeah.
That's changed,
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's called the Rule 7/8, it's changed.
And
Oh,
somebody also
yeah, I
told
don't
me,
know that either,
oh,
but
the
I-
house guy
that makes
said,
sense, yeah.
you're a first-time home buyer after 3 years, that you could then qualify for first-time home.
Yes,
I didn't know
yes,
that. I thought the
yes.
first-time home
My-
buying was
my
only
kids
when you
We're
bought
kind
your.
of out of the home market for a few
first.
years, and they are first-time home buyers again. So
Yeah, I didn't know
Really?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
every day
no,
I'm
it's
learning
a-
something,
it's-
and then I still research. That's probably a program that can help some folks that are
yes,
having trouble.
FHA. Yeah, I
getting
mean,
their
I
first
don't do
home.
mortgages, but
Okay.
I talk to people who are looking
buying
for a,
rents, yeah.
a mortgage or thinking about buying or, buying a second home or an investment property.
And so
It's-
diversify, I
it's-
know every time I talk
Mhm,
to somebody, and I think not only in finance, but diversify in your life. Like you don't want to just keep doing one thing. I think you've got to have, this pair of shoes and that pair of shoes, like, right? Right? You got to have
Oh,
like
that's what
a
that's called.
flat and
That's a good one to say.
and a heel and a tennis shoe, right? Okay, I'm not really into that. But
I don't know, they used to call it like life balance, right? So you're not just a mother and you're not just a career woman.
Right, but even in your life, like you need to work, you need to have fun, you need to
need to have fun.
sleep, you need
Work-life
to
balance.
Work-life
yeah,
balance.
Yeah.
be with the kids, you need to
Because-
get away, you have to have that balance, which, we live in America, which is wonderful, but we are on high throttle here.
We're in
Like
triple go all the
when I
time.
travel around the world, they're like,
Mhm.
you're an American. I'm like, well, I'm on vacation. Give me some credit for that. But yes, I am still calling back to make sure everything's okay. So tell us other things that are going on in your life besides the finance and the theater. What else? Oh, you're an advocate.
I am.
What do you
I
advocate for?
am. I did some work on the election. I think everybody should vote. I think
Yes.
registering people to vote is very important. I think
Yeah.
people understanding what the issues are, learning about what's really important to you. All of that's very important. And my brother has many complaints, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't
Oh,
work for a campaign or campaign for
Yeah.
somebody to run for office. I said, why don't you just take some action? You'll feel better.
Exactly.
Right?
Then you feel like you're
So
involved
that's
in
what I
making
do.
a difference, right?
I'll knock
Yeah.
on doors, make phone calls. I feel better.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
You
they
know?
said that,
Yeah.
your purpose is, not just to stay, you have to do some things, but, within, legal things, right? So it's like,
Yes.
some people get a little, so you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
be careful, like,
Carried away.
even on internet, you can't be sending hostile messages, right? You got to
They call
remain
it bullying and they
civilized.
take it down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway, I'm
yes.
getting warm again.
Yes. So, yes, and I think I told you about the Unitarian Church. I love to talk about
Yes,
my
please.
my faith home is the background of the Unitarianism is social justice, and so they've worked for many social justice causes.
Dave is your,
my minister.
okay,
My minister is Pastor Tom Bozeman.
okay.
He's a full-time minister. The church is in Hobart. It's the only Unitarian Universalist church in Northwest Indiana, and we're 150 years old.
Wow.
And we've always been a Unitarian church.
Huh?
We weren't Universalists
What's a
until the
Unitarian
60s.
church? What
A
is that?
Unitarian church is got a long history to it. A lot of the founding fathers and mothers were Unitarians, or they were called Congregationalists. But they took a sidestep into the the Trinity. They were kind of all about one God, and all souls are saved. And
And it's
those are,
Christian?
it's the Christian roots,
Okay,
absolutely,
okay.
Christian roots.
Because, we have, there's a variety around the world.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah,
people are
yeah,
watching
that's
around
right.
the world, so we have to.
Yeah,
let
so
them
it's
know.
Christian, but we also welcome Buddhist and Jewish and other faith traditions
Honestly,
are celebrated.
I think that most of the religions have those similar tenets in them, like treat other people well, be honest,
Absolutely.
love one another. It's extremists that get us into
It
trouble.
hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It
So-
hasn't changed.
right?
The
And it won't.
foundation of
It's the same.
being a good
Mm.
person
That's right.
hasn't changed.
You're right.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about before?
Tell us more about the show that's coming up.
Oh,
Opening
yeah.
dates.
You want to know more
I
about
wanna know
okay,
about that,
okay.
yes.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it's the first weekend, Friday night, Saturday
Anybody?
night,
And Sunday
7:30,
matinee?
and Sunday matinee.
The
Two or
8th.
I always get those mixed
Sorry,
up.
7th
It's a
and
2 or
8th is
3,
one.
but look it up. Beatniks on Conkey. It's the
And that's
first
in
weekend
Hammond,
North
Indiana.
in Hammond, Indiana,
Mhm.
Yes.
between Calumet and Holman
Yes.
on Conkey Street. It's a small theater, so you should make
lots
reservations
of
because it can sell out.
Yes.
Especially Sunday
will
matinees
sell out.
seem to be very popular.
Yes.
And especially Christmas.
Yeah.
The show last year sold out most of the performances. And then the 15th is the closing Sunday, so 2 weekends, and that's the next show, and then until the next
Until
one.
the- right, hey, let's audition
Until
over
the
there,
next
right.
one,
Well,
yeah.
you're
Exactly.
a delight, and I thank you so much for coming.
It
We
was
have
so
about
much
5 more
fun.
minutes. We're gonna wrap up the show with our
Okay.
usual things that are coming up and past.
You want
Once
me to-
again, Maggie
Reister.
Reister.
Maggie Reister.
Yes, thank you so much,
You're
sweetheart.
welcome,
Yeah.
Becky and Pete.
Thanks
My
for
delight,
coming.
my pleasure. Thank
Thank you, dear.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Great outfit, right?
So think about,
Wow.
oh gosh, she's always very stylish. That's probably why I like her so much, is I'm like, I'm always getting tips from her. But impact winner, just thinking of somebody in the area. I'm even thinking
Wow.
Maggie could be the impact winner. So she got her pen and all this stuff, and she signed, and are all good. Okay, the door's closed. I'm always checking like a mom, All right, so our next show, I didn't change it, but it is December. It is the Sunday in December. It's the 8th, right? So 7th, 8th. And then she said the next 2 weekends were her closing. But
Right.
I am working with, and I know you said you had talked to them, but he said there is no fee. I just have to get some other information to them. Jack Lencioni from The Bachelorette is from our area, and it's down to like the 2 final guys.
But he's not one of them.
No, he's not.
So
But have no fear. All these guys are now finding love. They had all about the men on last week, and all of them are doing really great things and finding people and families and health. So it's I've been watching that, and I've also been watching the Dancing with the Stars.
I love Dancing with the Stars. I
So
like that.
actually, I got a call to see if we wanted to do a local one. So we'll talk about that after the show.
Okay.
All right. And then typically we talk about our signing off. So David is at the controls there. We've got how many minutes left here?
We have 2 minutes.
Okay. So anybody else you want to think or anything else you want to say?
No, we're good to go. Thanksgiving is coming up.
Oh,
Take care of
yeah.
each other. Donate. Help the people who need it this time of the year, because it's kind of rough for more people than you think, right?
And I know
Be
I've been
generous.
seeing out there that people are asking if they can get some help, either from stores or restaurants or folks that can come over and help them. They can order out. So I know Strack and Van Til has food that you can order, but you do have to order that.
You can't.
You have to get that ahead of time or
Correct,
from
correct.
the restaurants. And then I usually have a spectacular week. I say that because of vision. Then I also have the Cover Your Cups, Cover Yourselves, because of the nonprofit and the fentanyl. We're trying to keep fentanyl out of here and educate yourself and be strong. Like
Yeah.
these 2 young ladies, I always say, make sure you have other people involved, like your parents and adults, before you make decisions with somebody that you aren't really sure about.
Gotta be careful.
And then, with our others back here, I have, usually we do the God bless. Is that you?
I need some Edelweiss from Pete.
I'll
Come on.
rehearse it for next time. I'll do it.
Well, I'll sing a little backup with you.
I'll do it next time.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So then our announcer usually does the God bless, and that's it from Good Day in WI. I'm Becky
Yeah.
Matea,
And I'm Pete Panos. See you soon. Have a great holiday.
and he's got a little bit. It says Northwest Indiana, and the date is November the
10.
10th, 2024.
Yikes. Where did this year go, right?
So we might, when the music
God.
starts, get up and start dancing a little bit.
way too quick this year, way too quick.
It's just like my Spanish teacher would say, years are short. What's on your dance sheet? Oh, I forgot to mention, Beyonce is leaving.